And the first step in discovering this is not the case was accomplished by J.J. Thompson. And J.J. Thompson is credited for discovering the electron. He was a physicist in England, and what his laboratory was studying is something called cathode rays. And cathode rays are simply rays that are emitted when you have a high voltage difference between two electrodes. So if you look at this setup, what he did when he was studying these rays is he had an evacuated tube, which is schematically shown here, where it's evacuated of all its air and filled instead just with hydrogen gas. And he had this high voltage difference between an anode and a cathode, and he actually put a little hole in the anode here, so these cathode rays that were produced could shoot out of the cathode and actually could be detected as this luminescent spot on a detector screen. So lots of people were studying cathode rays at the time. One reason is they actually gave off this bright glow. If you put them in an evacuated glass tube, you got these crazy patterns and glowing colors. So for that reason, it was a very hot issue in terms of research. But also, no one really knew what these were. And Thomson was seeking to figure out some more properties of them. And he had the theory that maybe they were actually charged particles of some sort. And others had proposed this in the past, but they didn't really have an experimental setup to test it. And that's what Thomson did. And what he did was he put two detection plates on either side of these cathode rays. And when he put a voltage difference between those two plates, he wanted to see if he could actually bend the rays and test if they're actually charged or not. So when the voltage difference between the plates is 0, or when we just don't have the plates there at all, the cathode rays are not bent. They just go right in a straight line, and they can be detected on this screen. When he actually cranked up the voltage between these two plates, what he saw was really amazing to him, which is that he actually was able to bend these rays. This had never been observed before in any capacity, and he was able to detect on his screen that there was this deflection, and he could even measure the degree of deflection that he had. So we